So today I was having a conversation with a nutritionalist, and we were talking about food and our relationship with food, and it prompted me to think and talk about, in today's video, eating disorders. Now, when we think of eating disorders, we might think of things like bulimia or anorexia, and they're obviously extreme versions of eating disorders that play havoc with our mental health. But those things don't just happen overnight. They can be triggered by major events, of course, but usually they happen gradually over time. Now, with this 10K a day challenge, I've had to have a really keen focus on my nutrition, and because of how it affects my ability to run, and also how it affects my mood and desire to keep going. So I do have to be careful with the types of foods that I eat. Now, my focus is not on the quantity that I eat, and actually not so much on the calories, but more on what's referred to as macronutrients. So that's a mixture of fats, carbohydrates, and proteins. Now, when I'm playing around with the various different percentages, it can have quite a big impact. So, if I'm quite low in carbohydrates, of course it affects blood sugar. If I'm low in protein, it really affects how mentally alert I feel. And if I'm too low on fat, then my longer range energy just isn't there. So food can really have a big impact on us. But lately, I've become more and more curious about the types of foods that I should and shouldn't eat. And the nutritionalist said to me, be very careful, because you don't want this to develop into a disorder or an unhealthy obsession. And I totally get that. So we all have to be careful with overeating. Maybe we're carrying a bit too much weight. Just slight tweaks to food groups can really make a big difference. But whether you're trying to manage your weight, training, and eating for performance, you do have to be careful with your relationship with the food that you eat. So, as with anything, in all things, moderation, and just be mindful about what you eat, the quantities, and how it affects you. We're all different. Stay healthy. See you in the next video.